What if I told you there were flowers you could sow on and they'll keep coming back year after year, completely on their own, without you lifting a finger? No resowing, no buying new plant, no fuss at all. Today I'm sharing 5 of my favourite self-sowing seeds. These plants will do all the hard work for you, and once you've got them in the garden, you'll never need to buy them again. One of the easiest ways to make your garden feel lighter is let your plants do all the work. Perennials come back year after year, which is brilliant, but self-seeding flowers can go one step further. So what do I mean by self-seeding? These are plants that flower, grow their seed, and then drop the seeds naturally onto the soil. Come the spring, or sometimes autumn, those seeds germinate all on their own and you get a whole new generation for absolutely nothing. Now the beauty of this is that once you put 1 packet of seeds, and we're talking for maybe a couple of pounds, you could have these flowers in your garden forever. They just keep going, and I think for anyone who wants a easy, low maintenance garden, self-seeding plants are a brilliant place to start. I should mention that my 5 suggestions are also great for cut flowers as well. So if you like flowers in your house, then you're in luck. I've focused this list on hardy annuals, which means they survive the winter no matter what the weather, in the UK anyway. First one up is Larkspur. This is a new one for me, as it's taken many years to get them growing from seed in seed trays. But last year was a success, and now I can see new plants emerging where those old plants were, and they look strong and healthy, and I haven't had the stress of trying to coax them into life. Larkspur sends up tall spikes of flowers in early summer. They are in the delphinium family, but slightly more diminutive, where delphiniums are the perennial, but Larkspur are the annual. But they are slightly easier to use in a normal home arrangement. At the end of the season, if you leave a few plants to set seed, then they'll scatter naturally and you'll get more plants next year. However, make sure you have slug protection in place come early spring, because they might all get devoured. My second choice is Nigella. This one is one of the most generous self-seeders you can find. It produces delicate flowers surrounded by lovely feathery foliage. After flowering, it forms beautiful balloon-like seed pods, which, by the way, look great dried. But if you leave some of these seed pods on the plant, they will burst open and distribute the seeds far and wide, and you'll find that you get more Nigella than you could ever bargain for, and that's only got to be a good thing. If you're finding this useful, I've put together an easy gardening playlist. My previous video covers perennials that make your gardening easier for cut flowers, and combined with these self-seeders, you'll have a garden that practically runs itself. I'll pop the link in the description below. Flower number 3 is Cerinthe majus. It's another brilliant plant if you like flowers that are slightly unusual. Predominantly I use it for foliage, and the foliage is a lovely silvery blue with deep purple bracts for the flowers that the bees absolutely adore. The seeds form in these bracts, and I find that once the Cerinthe finds the spot it likes, then it is so much easier letting it self-seed itself than you trying to grow the seeds from scratch in the first place. It's a fantastic filler in a bouquet or foliage, so you get double whammy, and it looks fantastic in the garden. Calendula is my next choice, and this is probably one of the most enthusiastic self-seeders you can find. If you grow Calendula once, then there's a good chance that you'll have it for years. The flowers keep blooming for months, and then they produce curled seeds that fall straight into the soil. The following year you'll find clusters of seedlings where last year's plants grew. It's also an incredibly useful plant. Not only does it look good in flower arrangement, but you can use the petals in cooking, in homemade skincare, as a companion plant in the garden to attract hoverflies, which eat aphids by the way, so it's good to grow alongside lupins to make sure that they're protected, and of course they're lovely as a cut flower. If you grow only one self-seeder from this list, then Calendula would be a good starting point. The one thing I would say to start with is make sure you choose a colour that you can live with. Some of the oranges are really quite bright, but you can also get softer yellows and softer oranges, more sunset colours. So make sure you find one that you like, and then you'll have it for years. The last plant on the list is Ammi majus, which produces those airy, lacy, white flowers on tall stems. It gives bouquets that lovely, wild, natural, airy look, and is a favourite with florists. Once it's established, it can self-seed quite happily, especially if you let a few of the plants finish their life cycle and let the seeds drop into the soil. One thing to note, it can grow quite tall, up to about 1 metre high, so give it a bit of space to grow or put it at the back of the border, and it may need a little bit of support. So bear that in mind wherever these seeds start popping up. But honestly, if it flops a little, it still looks beautiful and it's still useful as a cut flower. So they're my top 5 self-seeders in the garden, and I've got a few tips that will help make the most of your self-seeders. Number 1, the key with all of these is to just let a few plants go to seed and let them disperse that seed naturally. You can, of course, pick off the seed pod and do your own dispersal, but resist the urge to tidy everything up too much in autumn. And the same with mulching. You don't really want to be mulching too much because you're covering the seeds and therefore it won't allow them to germinate. So just be conscious that if you do want some of these seeds to germinate, then sprinkle them onto the top of the ground once you've done your mulching. The seedlings often appear in early spring, although some can appear in the autumn. And if you're not expecting them, it's easy to weed them out without thinking about it. So if you're growing self-seeders, take care to note what the seedlings look like so you can identify them and weed with caution. And if they pop up somewhere you don't want, simply lift them while they're still quite small and replant them somewhere more convenient. But honestly, I just tend to let them do their own thing, and many beautiful combinations have been created. The beauty of self-seeding flowers is that your garden slowly becomes fuller without you constantly starting from scratch, and the garden keeps going. So there you have it, 5 self-seeding flowers that will fill your garden year after year for the cost of a single packet of seeds. So with the perennials and self-seeding flowers, your garden can already start to take care of itself. But there's one more piece that makes a huge difference to making your garden life easier. In the next video, I'm sharing 3 gardening processes that I'm turning on its head to make my gardening life easier by not turning it into a second job. I'll put the link right here down below.